Welcome back to Zenith Health. Today is October 26, 2024. In the last few videos we just started on October 24th, we talked about practical things that you can do. We talked about natural ways to boost your mood. We talked about vitamins that you need to be getting every day with superfoods. But I mentioned in that video that if your mindset is not in the right place, I can tell you all the practical stuff to do every day, and you're not actually going to make the changes, or you're going to make the changes and you're not going to stick with it for very long. So yesterday we started talking about mindset and what we can do if you miss those. We talked about how to 5 steps to own your happy and how to stop overthinking things. And then today we are talking about 3 mind shifts to reach your goals. That is today's topic. And like I always say, this is not going to happen overnight. You're going to have to take time. You're going to have to be consistent. You're going to have to make it a habit. So today being the 26th of October, almost at the end of the year, I need you to, 1, subscribe to Zenith Health if you haven't already, so that you're coming back and watching these videos daily. But 2, I need you to make a promise to yourself that you're not just watching the videos and walking away and forgetting about it. You are immediately taking action. Okay. So today, 3 mindset shifts to reach your goals. And let me preface this with change is scary. Doing something outside of your comfort zone can feel scary. But if you want to reach your goals and you failed in the past, that means something has to change, and it all starts with your mindset, okay? If you want to reach your goals for real this time, right? You got to change. Starts with your mindset. So did you know that we have approximately 75,000 thoughts per day, which is crazy to think about, right? Our brain is constantly going. About 92% of those are the same as the day before, right? Like what I talked about earlier, change is scary. So our mind just keeps thinking the same thing. We think the same thoughts over and over. And no wonder it can feel impossible sometimes to reach new goals when we're repeating the same thoughts from the day before, the same process from the day before that clearly didn't get us to our goals. So if you want to reach your goals, you've got to change the way you're thinking first. That is the very first thing. It all comes down to mindset. It's the difference between reaching your goals and feeling like it's impossible to actually achieve them, or impossible to actually stick to it. So 3 critical mind shifts to reach your goals. Number 1, you've got to rewrite your story. Have you ever found yourself saying something like, that's great that worked for her, but I just don't have the self-discipline to do it? Or I've tried all of that in the past, it just doesn't seem to work for me, or I just can't stick with it, right? Here's the thing. That's just a story. It's a false belief that you tell yourself, and it's not the truth. The story that you tell yourself, I talked about this a little bit yesterday, whatever you tell yourself, you make that your reality. So the story you're telling yourself about who you are and what you can potentially achieve, how much money you have, whether you could have a successful relationship or not, how much weight you're going to lose, whatever it is, those are stories that we tell ourselves in our head, and they're not reality. Well, technically they are reality, because that's what we make happen based on what you believe. So you can rewrite that script. All of these stories that you tell yourself are limiting you from achieving what you really want. But the good news is you can change it. You have the power to write your own script. So change that story that you tell yourself. It's not going to happen overnight. You're going to have to keep reminding yourself every day until it's ingrained into your mind. So take some time, write down your news story, write down what your life looks like with, whatever it is, if it's money, if it's losing weight, if it's a relationship, write down very specific examples of what your day looks like when that happens. Put emotion behind it. When you're reading this and writing this, you should get emotional, because you're getting so in-depth with the examples and you can actually see it happening. And then you're going to be reading this every day and you are going to start believing that, okay? Number 2, decide every day to take 3 small steps towards your goals. I talked about this in another video. If you make these gigantic goals, like I'm going to lose 50 pounds, or I'm never going to drink coffee again in my entire life, or I'm never going to eat another piece of cake, it doesn't feel realistic, and then you're not going to stick with it. You've got to start with small, consistent changes that are gradually going to add up. They're more likely to stick if you than if you're just trying to change everything at once. So what if you just changed one small thing? Like, what if you started walking 3 days a week for 1 mile, right? And you just promised yourself that I'm gonna do this first week, and then you're gonna see that it's doable, and you're gonna keep doing it, and then you can add a little bit more time to it, or turn it into 4 days a week. Slowly habit stack those things that you're doing, and yes, it's gonna take a while, but it is gonna stick long term, instead of trying to change everything all at once. Imagine if you started with that, and then you started adding a couple workouts, and then you started changing your diet, versus on day one you're like, I'm working out 5 days a week, I'm walking 5 miles a day, I'm never eating another carb again. Imagine how that's gonna go. You're not gonna last long at all, right? You've got to start slow. Number 3, mindset shift to reach your goals. Take time to visualize your goals every day. Take just 5 minutes. Close your eyes and envision what your life looks like. This goes with number 1 when I was saying write it all down, feel the emotions, right? When you're reading that back, truly envision it, embody it, know what it feels like once you've achieved your goals. If your goal is to fit into your favorite jeans, imagine what that day is going to look like. You're looking in the mirror, you're feeling good, you're feeling confident, you're getting compliments from your coworkers or your friends, you're on that vacation and you're in your bathing suit and you're feeling confident instead of just wanting to cover up. What restaurants are you going to visit when you're there? What is the weather like? What are you going to do on the beach? Are you running around with your kids? Whatever it is, I want you to get really specific about those details and visualize it so that you're making this your future reality. Okay, so let's start with top 3 goals. I want you to write down 1, if you have not yet, make sure that you're subscribing to Zenith Health, but in the comments, I want you to write what are your top 3 goals, right? We're going to motivate each other all together. And then you're actually going to take action on those 3 goals. Just the fact of actually typing it out, writing it down is going to give you that head start. And I will see you soon.